This is going to be a quick video where I test these computers. I'm having a clear out, so I need to make sure or check what condition these are in before getting rid of them. Basically, I haven't used these for probably a year. These are little book PCs, Pro X. Got Pentium 3 1 gigahertz chips in them, and the fan under here is very loud, so that's why I'm not really that interested in using them. But let's just see if they still work after a year. I'm going to start with connecting up the various different things that I need to connect. Keyboard, and then where is my monitor cable? Had this all set up, and then as soon as you move something, everything gets tangled up again. So we've got a monitor. I'm going to plug in the power, and then they're set up to auto switch on because they were from Jukebox machines. Again, I can't talk, and you can hear how loud that is. I've got other systems that are old that are much quieter because they're in a normal case, so I'm able to control the fans and things. Quick look inside. Yeah, it slides forward, so I'm gonna have to switch it off before doing that. But it's booting into, looks like, Windows 98, and this is the old Jukebox software. And it was by SoundNet. I'll put a link in the description, hopefully I'll remember. Oh yeah, I put Motocross Madness on it and Pinball Arcade. Oh, and they were full of MP3s, but they were basically they didn't have proper file names, they didn't have a proper folder structure, so it was just like thousands and thousands of MP3s, all just with numbers, and there was no artist or song information because the Jukebox software had its own database with all that information, so all the MP3 files weren't useful because you had no idea what song was what. So I plugged in a USB mouse, and Windows 98, or is it 95, is the kind of thing that needs a driver before it will let you use a USB device, such as a USB mouse. Let's see, it's found one. It then wants the Windows 98 CD, which I don't have. Or you can browse the local drive for it, and yeah, is it gonna work? Not without restarting. This is what Windows 95, 98 was like. This should be 98 because it's got USB support, or it could be a later version of Windows 95. I think it's 98. And it's crashed. So this is the kind of thing you get with Windows 98, and it's a real pain, to be honest, to deal with if you've not set the system up yourself. If I was setting the system up myself, I would have the Windows 98 CD copied locally. So yeah, Windows 98 is a kind of operating system that would crash because it's unreliable. So it might not even be any kind of hardware problem. You might just have the operating system crashing because it crashes. So let's switch this on, and while it's off, let's have I'll quickly open it up so we can see what's going on inside. So yeah, this is the actual power supply, protected with this plastic. There's no metal case around the power supply, so this is not particularly safe. But there's the main board. It's got a sort of non-standard, not ATX power connector. There's a fan in the power supply. I think this is the cable for it. It's got a riser slot, but the riser card is missing. This is the heatsink and fan and memory, chipset, etc. And the CD drive. And the capacitors on this all look good. So this is not recommended, but I'll plug it back in. We'll see if we get the Pentium 3, 1 gigahertz. I've not plugged the keyboard in, I should have done that first. See if we get the USB mouse in Windows, and it looks like they've disabled the sort of splash screen, etc. And we're back in Windows, and the mouse is not working because I didn't give it the drivers it wanted. So if I plugged in a PS2 mouse, I'd have a mouse that worked. But yeah, it's not exactly very exciting. And I'm pretty sure the Jukebox system doesn't work. It'll load this screen and won't actually load the interface. The systems would have had dongles on the back, one for licensing, so that it was an officially licensed product, and then they would also have additional connections for the Jukebox controls, so that people could, you know, choose the songs they wanted to play. It's quite likely that it would have been a touchscreen Jukebox as well, potentially. So that would have had to be connected in the back via serial. So there we go. This is the little PC. One of these is working. I'll check the next one. Yeah, Windows 98. Okay, so this is the next one. I've got a mouse, Pentium 3, 1 gigahertz, 256 megabytes of RAM. And this one, I think I've put Windows XP on. So there's the original Windows 95 on here. And here's some of the sort of auto exec commands that I've remmed out. This was to reset it back to its like default state in case anything's changed while it was up and running. And I've got a mouse that works. So micro touchware, that would have been for a touch screen. Nothing in the startup because I've cleaned that up. And then these are like your audio, artwork, adverts, etc. I think I must have put Sega Smash back on here. But that won't work without the CD. Yeah. And so there's probably a folder in here full of MP3s. You can sort of see the dates, 2003, 2005. Looks like the most recent. So 20 years old. And here are the MP3 files that I was talking about. So there's 19 gigabytes of MP3 files, and they've all got this kind of like meaningless numbers. And yeah, I've not got speakers plugged in, so you won't hear anything. But yeah, there's literally thousands upon thousands of MP3s. None of them have the artist information or song information, so you know they're of very little use. But I did take a backup of it. So let's have a look at Windows XP on this, just because it's there, we may as well. I'm not sure what's happening here. I've rebooted and it's going to do a disk check for me. Okay, the date and time is not correct. That's fine. We should still be able to boot into Windows XP. There we go. This mouse is not great. Doesn't like the idea of going down. So, what's on here? We've got a core temp. I wonder if that works. Oh, apparently it does. 30 degrees. So, Pentium 3, 1 gigahertz, running at 133 megahertz front side bus. Got all sorts of things on here. Pinball and Minesweeper and other things. So let's just have a very quick look at the disk in here, because I think they have got little laptop hard drives that live under, well, there's a floppy drive there, and then under there there's a little hard drive. So we've got 120 gig there, and look, so we've got C is 120 gigabytes and E is 30 gigabytes. So I think this might have a 160 gig drive in there. And let's have a look at device manager properties. Windows XP Service Pack 3. Device manager. Display adapter. Intel 82815 graphics controller. Network adapter. 100 meg Ethernet. Sound is AC97 audio controller. And let's have a look on here. So this again has got the artwork and music, and as you can see, some of these MP3s have the artist, but it is so rare. Out of, you know, thousands of files, hardly any have the actual artist or anything useful, because the system would have had a database. So, and then in artwork, there's all these sort of, you know, thousands upon thousands of pictures to go with the music. So there we go, those both work. I haven't used them for about a year. Plugged in, switched on, both working. And I'm going to be putting them on the Facebook group, Vintage Computers for Sale UK, if you're interested. Yeah, that was a very quick look at these little machines, and I don't use them and don't need them. They're cute but loud, as you can hear. Thanks for watching. Bye.